Ladies and gents, thank you for joining me for another reaction on this channel. So I hope you're having a great weekend full of fun stuff. And today I want to jump into US heavy and power metal or power metal. Depends how you classify this band. I think they fall into both categories, but they're more on the epic side. I would say US power metal. And I want to react to a band called Virgin Steel. A very unique band, which is often compared, at least in their early days, to Manowar, the also US power metal band, very famous. If you're into the metal genre, you have most certainly heard of Manowar. So I think I've heard Virgin Steel many years ago, and I've listened to their, I think, most famous album, or one of their most famous albums, Invictus. However, I cannot really pinpoint any track which I remember. And I was doing some research, and I saw that they released some concept albums and a trilogy of albums, starting with their full-length album number 6, The Marriage of Heaven and Hell Part 1, released in 1994, followed by The Marriage of Heaven and Hell Part 2 in 1995, so 1 year later. And then the final album from this trilogy, 3 albums trilogy, Invictus, released in 1998. All very highly rated albums. Again, I cannot remember anything from Invictus, but I wanted to go to The Marriage of Heaven and Hell Part 2 because it's very highly rated, almost as Invictus, and I don't think I've ever heard anything from it. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever heard any song from any other album than Invictus, and even the Invictus I don't remember. So I want to jump to The Marriage of Heaven and Hell Part 2 and start rediscovering the band, getting into them, because they seem to have a very solid discography. And the vocalist, David Defice, has a very unique voice from what I remember. Actually, weirdly enough, I remember him from his collaboration with Tobias Sammet Avantasia, where he featured on vocals on the song The Final Sacrifice from the Metal Opera Part 2, and his vocal performance really fit the song, and it was really dynamic and epic. Here's a small part from that song. His vocals are really unique, and I don't know how to call them. They're more like a raspy, whispery style of vocals, which I haven't heard, at least I can't recall now, any other vocalist who sings like him in the metal genre or in any other genre. And I want to go back and rediscover the band and see what they have to offer and hopefully find hidden gems, because I really long to find those really epic, great albums which, you always listen to no matter how much time passes, and I have a couple of those in my playlist, so I hope I can find something from this band. They seem to be a strong candidate to have such a very solid album. I was really hesitant as to which track I want to react to from this album, but I decided to start with the album opener, A Symphony of Steel. We'll see how it goes, and let me know in the comments what are your favorite Virgin Steel tracks and which song I should react to from The Marriage of Heaven and Hell Part 2, Invictus, or Part 1, Marriage of Heaven and Hell Part 1, or Invictus, or any other album, and I'll definitely consider that. But for this reaction, I've picked The Symphony of Steel, so let's jump into it. And before we jump, as for the band lineup back then, in 1995, we had the aforementioned David Defice on vocals, and it says keyboards as well. Edward Porcino on guitar. So those two are the only remaining band members as of today. Then there was Rob DeMartino on bass, Joey Ivasian on drums, and Frank Gilchrist on drums. All right, that being said, let's jump right into A Symphony of Steel by Virgin Steel. Let's do this. Epic stuff from the beginning. So is David, the vocalist, the singer, playing the keyboards? And that album cover is pretty weird. Sorry to stop it. That album cover is really weird, but I think I understand it depicts the marriage of heaven and hell. I think hell is on the right with the fire, heaven on the left, although heaven looks hellish as well and Stygian. And then there's the baby, that's the, yeah. That's that's what's created from that marriage. Okay, let's continue. Wasn't expecting such an epic symphonic beginning. He sounds like Eric Adams from Manowar here. Strange drums in the middle of the rhythm. Strange rhythm. Okay, let me stop it here. Yeah, he sounds a lot like Eric Adams from Manowar on this track. He sounds different too. He had a more of a full voice, stronger voice than on the Metal Opera by Avantasia on the Final Sacrifice. There, it seems like he had lost this power and he kept that whispery. I'm not sure if he was doing it on purpose, but I had a feeling like his voice changed with time. It's nice, but the vocals are somehow a little low in the mix. I think it's too loud with all the things happening. That drum pattern in the rhythm is like strange, maybe also nice, I would say, but strange, like on the snare in the middle of the rhythm. Yeah, it's okay for now. Let's see what they're talking about. Magic speaks with tongues of fire. Fortune take my hand. Iron pounding, dongs of glory soaring on command. Screaming, I rejoin the fray. Take me where the thunder walks, a symphony of steel. Take me where the falcon flies, a symphony of steel. Sound the trumpet, crack the mountain, let the arrow fly. Through the land of lamentation, let the tidings fly. Mercury, the god and I. Okay, then the chorus again. Spark the ashes, free the temple, stem the crimson tide. Toll the bells of freedom, shouting praise for those who died. Wield the sword of destiny. And it's like epic lyrics. The beginning and it's like a trumpet styled. I think they're played on keyboards, but sounds like a trumpet. I'm not sure though, or these are sound samples, because it was in '95. But sounds like a war, like a more of a march or like a march for war or something. This is what it reminds me of, especially that beginning. Okay, let's continue. To the vengeance, the weakness retreats, the wrath of the tempest, the cries of the slain, tragic in splendor, in death you are free, I follow the sign, ring on the sound of the thunder, ring on the rain. I like the choir in the back, it's real nice. Sketchy. The chorus is sketchy. Nice guitars in the lead section. Even the rhythm section is really cool. The drummer likes to do this. Nice. Nice keyboards here. Some weird chords here. Pretty original. All right. Well. I wouldn't say this is playlist. Let me get straight to the point. I wouldn't say this is playlist, but it has piqued my interest to continue discovering this album. It's pretty decent. It's original. It's different. Like I can't recall, apart from the vocals resembling Manowar and Eric Adams' vocals, the frontman and singer of Manowar. There's nothing else that's sounds like any other band, which is a good thing. It's original, and it's not on the bad, because sometimes you can be original but don't sound good, at least according to one's taste. But this one sounds like pretty decent, pretty nice, different. I wouldn't say it's playlist again because it's not that amazing to me. That lead section was pretty interesting in the guitars that were playing behind the lead guitar. The lead guitar was like a good solid lead guitar, but nothing extraordinary, especially for 95, where you had already shredders doing different sort of things. But that's not the point of how hard it is or how technical it is. It's if it fits the song and if it's musically nice, it's musically nice. But nothing too special. But the guitars in the back, the chords, the notes, I think the chord changes are very interesting. That keyboard is very epic. Yeah, it resembles like a march of war, preparing for war or something, to me at least. That's pretty interesting. I'm really interested to discover more. So let me know again in the comments below what songs I should react to from this album before I listen to it all. Then it won't be a first time reaction. Let me know of any other songs from any other albums I should react to by Virgin Steel. And let me know what other bands similar to Virgin Steel maybe I could react to, I could discover, which I probably don't know. Because I'm not that well versed into the US power metal scene as much as the European power metal or worldwide power metal. So yeah, I would be really interested to discover more. Alright, that being said, I would really appreciate it if you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button to keep the channel going. And I'll see you in the next one.